Something big unlocked in me through the practice of meditation and mindfulness. Something life-changing. And it can unlock in you too. It's something that's available to all of us. My name is Linda, and I'm here to share my experience. This video took some time to craft because although my life has done a 180, it's hard to pinpoint and describe exactly what it's done for me. I feel like all the changes are so subtle and yet they're so blatantly obvious. So this video is going to be big, not only in terms of length, but also the message I'm sharing. But what I'll do is I'm going to turn this into a 3-part series, and I will also release a full-length version, and then you can pick the format that suits you best. I want to preface this by saying that this is not a look at me now type video, because that is not who I am at all. I'm a highly introverted, quiet, and private person who was just profoundly changed by the practice of meditation and mindfulness, and I have been called to share my experience. When I think of me before meditation versus after meditation, I think of 2 different people. Pre-meditation me was broken, unhealed, self-loathing, triggered by everything, fearful, angry shell of a person. I didn't know who I was or what I wanted out of life. Sort of just drifted along to wherever life took me and didn't think I was worthy of anything. Just harboring and suppressing all these feelings of unworthiness, hopelessness, despair, and just longing for something to be different, whatever that meant. I was always frustrated that I never knew what I wanted to be in life. I had no real passion for anything. I had never found my thing, but I was constantly searching and I was exhausted. So while this mess was going on the inside, my life still looked pretty decent on the outside. Like I felt everything was fine. I enjoyed my life. There was a lot of love and joy raising my kids and being around family and friends. I still managed to be a kind and loving person, even though I was in so much pain. I didn't think a lot about the bad stuff. I was really good at stuffing it down, as so many of us are. I was busy being a mom and doing all the things I thought I needed to do. Looking back at it from this perspective, though, I can really see the disconnect and the dissonance. So fast forward to my transformation that has taken place 1,000,000% because of my meditation practice. And I am very certain of that because that was the only thing I changed in my life. Like I didn't start exercising or eating differently or doing a million other things. I started to meditate, and that is how I was transformed. I am 3 solid years in now. I'm just starting year 4. It's important to mention that I have been consistent with the practice. It's not a willy-nilly thing that just happens when I feel like it. Consistency is key, but you only need 5 to 10 minutes a day. We're definitely not talking hours here. And a lot of the benefits I started seeing very early on. One of the first things I noticed was my triggers, and that was a big thing for me. Little things could set me off and result in an angry reaction. But soon after my practice started, my reactions to my triggers became so different and very mellow. And that change was so big and obvious, I did double takes with myself when it first started to happen. Big and angry reactions turned into dust. And eventually the triggers went away and I don't erupt anymore. My brain now looks for solutions, not emotions, and I remain calm. So the triggers and the anger were the first to melt away, and that was a huge relief for me. I still have days where I can be moody, or I'm arguing with my teenagers, or things go wrong, but overall, I would say that all my edges have softened or dissolved. Same with worries. Other changes I also noticed early on was improved sleep, memory, cognition, focus. My brain feels sharp and quick now, and there's a lot less brain fog and forgetfulness. I could also feel a new relationship with myself emerging. And at this point, I'm hooked, right? I want more. And I'm thinking, what else can you do for me, meditation? Can you help me find me? And it's like, hold my beer. But it's probably more like tea. I can't really put a timeline on what has since unfolded. There was not exactly a specific order. It was more like all at once. But the process of transformation has felt very gentle, kind, and loving. Nothing has felt overwhelming or scary in my experience. It's felt more like a homecoming, a return, an awakening. So meditation brought everything to the surface. Not everything at once, thankfully, because that would have been overwhelming, but little by little. Things that people had said or done to me to hurt me, events or emotions that had been suppressed since childhood or adolescence. You know, trauma. We all have this in one form or another. So as things arose, I would acknowledge it, sit with it, journal about it, and also forgive or ask forgiveness so that I could also release it. Some things I had to work on a little longer before I was able to let it go. Other things resolved quicker, and some things, even though they had hurt deeply and for a long time, didn't require any work at all. They sort of just came to the surface and popped. This process took about 2 or 3 years. And I know that sounds like a long time, but it wasn't all day, every day. It wasn't 24/7. It was little by little, and it felt very manageable. And although some of it was difficult, the process only brought relief, closure, and gratitude. I haven't had much bubble up for a while now. I feel healed and at peace for the most part. And I think it's also important to note, I don't dig or prod to find stuff to heal. Our lives are not about constantly healing stuff. It's more about loving, creating, cultivating, sharing, and enjoying. And so I do allow for stuff to bubble up on its own. And if it's not bubbling up, there's nothing for me to do, or I'm not ready for it yet. I have a lot of self-awareness and self-compassion now, which is another happy byproduct of the meditation practice. So should anything else arise, I feel very equipped to deal with it. I was able to heal everything on my own. In my experience, the meditation practice made it very possible and gentle. That may not be the case for everyone, so be discerning here. You know yourself best, and please seek assistance if it's starting to feel overwhelming to you. I am simply sharing my experience. The healing process also brought about self-love. As I was going through all these things, I started to feel compassion and empathy for myself, and also for little Linda, who had been feeling pain when she shouldn't have. I started to think that maybe I didn't need to be so hard on myself, and maybe I could actually try to love myself. That was really hard at first. I had been telling myself for as long as I can remember that I was not worthy of anything, and my traumas and past experiences were confirmation of that. I did a lot of mirror work here, and I still remember how difficult it was the first time I said I love you to my own image. I could barely say it because I didn't feel it. I mean, I could barely stand looking at myself. It's crazy to me now. So self-love was definitely a process as well. It didn't happen overnight, but it did happen. It unfolded organically, and it's unconditional and unwavering at this point. Meditation teaches unconditional love for all, and that includes ourselves. So there was no way around it. Then there's intuition, and this is the big one. I've always felt my intuition come through, but it's always very subtle. And for a long time, I was just ignoring it unless it was an emergency. So you can absolutely have a relationship with your intuition without having a meditation practice. It's there for all of us, no matter what. With meditation, however, my relationship with my intuition is stronger. And not only does it come through for me when I need it, although not always instantly, I'm now aligned with it and I fully trust the guidance. It's not going to steer me wrong. This is the guidance we are all looking for. Intuition is good, loving, and it does no harm. It's the foundation for everything I do, and it's how I live my life now. I feel so supported, and it's from this space I'm leading my life. It's one of the reasons I'm sitting in front of you, telling you all this. Starting this channel is one of the things that have come to me in meditation. And because I'm living in alignment and committed to follow the guidance, I said yes when being called, and I have never felt more alive or free. My intuition that I perceive as welling up from here provides me with clarity and guidance. But I also have thoughts and ideas falling on my head from out of nowhere, and I perceive those as coming in from here, and that is different from my intuition. Sometimes things come through in my sitting meditations, but not most of the time, to be clear. Most of my sittings are uneventful in that respect. Most of the time, things come through out of the blue, like when I'm loading the dishwasher. But I'm inundated daily with creativity and ideas in a way that I've never experienced before, from here and here, because I'm present and I'm open. So meditation has melted away anger, triggers, brain fog, worries, and poor sleeping patterns. It has sharpened my mind, healed my heart, created self-love, and a strong relationship with my intuition. It's like all my good qualities have been enhanced, and my less desirable ones have diminished. I'm so grateful and filled with love because of all of it, and therefore my vibe is naturally high. So where do we go from here? Because I'm healed and have released old stories, and I'm not dwelling on past hurts, I am now free and clear to call in things to my life that excites me and that propels me forward. Because I'm in tune with my higher self, my soul, and my intuition, this connection is now wide open. I'm following and trusting my guidance, and I'm no longer looking for solutions outside of me. Because I now love myself, I'm genuinely caring for myself for the first time, mind, body, and spirit, which further perpetuates this high vibe. I'm letting my true self flourish, and I don't feel like I need to hide. I don't need to fake it till I make it. There's no fear, shame, or holding back. And I'm not faced by people's opinion of me. I'm not seeking approval or validation from anyone. I feel like self-love is probably the biggest factor that drives the desire to change, because I feel worthy. And that desire to change is turning into action because something unlocked in me. And I feel like the sky's the limit. I'm embodying who I'm meant to be. And this is the key to create and manifest the life I want. I'm present and mindful. I don't have to strive for that. I feel like that's something that's naturally happening. My gratitude is overflowing, my heart is full, I feel happy and energized, and I don't have to reach for anything outside of me to make me feel fulfilled. My brain has gone from utter chaos and clutter to organization and order. There's space now for ideas to come in and grow. And it's compounding. I can feel how it keeps building in the most subtle and wonderful ways. I can't really describe it. I still have bad days, or things can feel challenging and hopeless. It's the human experience, but it's not even close to what it used to be. The swings are way less swingy. So I'm excited to start exploring and really applying all of this to all areas of my life, and to share it here with you on my channel. The most important thing for me is to freely share my experience, not only because that is what I'm called to do, but because becoming unlocked is available to all of us. Please like this video if you found it inspiring or helpful. Please also subscribe and hit the notification bell. I cannot wait to see what's next. Thank you for your time.